He picks up his load again and he goes on to deliver it. But then he sees a wall around a huge and beautiful palace, and behind the wall there is a garden. He can see the trees, he can smell the orange blossom blooming, some roses maybe. There's a bench in front of the wall, so he decides to sit down and enjoy the sound of the birds in the garden. There's doves, definitely doves, and maybe even a nightingale. Or is it a sparrow? He wonders what's inside the garden, so he decides to open the small door that is in the wall and just have a quick peek.
As soon as Sindbad entered the garden, the colours from the flowers made his eyes squint. They were that bright and they were that beautiful. And the smell from those petals, they went right up his nose and made him feel dizzy. And the fountains, well, they sprung water up into the air higher and higher and made the grass and the bushes and the trees so green that they hurt his eyes. And the leaves from the trees, they created a dappled sunlight on the ground, an ice-cool shade that turned the relentless heat of Baghdad into a paradise. And strolling through that shade and lying in that shade were lots and lots of gentlemen in some of the finest silks you could ever possibly imagine, of all sorts of colours, and with lovely silk hats on top of their head. And every now and again, their pages, their servants, would come out and serve them a nice cool glass of something delicious. And they'd run away and they'd come back a few moments later with a plate of something sweet and delicious. And Sindbad watched all this happen in front of his eyes. And he was so stunned, he was so shocked, that he found himself speaking out loud. "What is this? Here I am, a poor porter, always hungry, always tired, working as hard as I can, my fingers to the bone, and here are these gentlemen living in the lap of luxury and never lifting a finger. Yet I am the same as he, and he is the same as me. This is an absolute disgrace." Well, no sooner had he finished his sentence, a little tap on his shoulder came. He looked round, and there was one of the pages. And he said, "My master would like to see you, sir. Follow me." So tentatively, quietly, Sindbad followed, through the gardens, past the hedges, past the beautiful trees, until he arrived at the house. And he entered the house through the hallway and into the great hall, where there was a man at the end of a table, the master of the house. And he beckoned him in and asked him to sit by the side of the table with his guests. And when he sat down, there was a great hush. And the man at the head of the table, well, he said, "My servant informs me that you have been making noise in the garden. But first, what is your name?" The man, cowering at the table, he said, "Well, sir, my name is Sindbad, the porter." And the big man at the end of the table, with one single raise of his eyebrow, nodded. He said, "Well, my name is Sindbad too, Sindbad the sailor. Now, would you care to repeat for me and my guests what you said there in the garden?"
Sindbad the porter was a bit embarrassed. He looked down to the table and said, "Well, sir, really, it was nothing." "But it was something," said Sindbad the sailor. "You don't have to excuse yourself because, I have been poor as you are now. And it took me a lot to become as rich as you see around you. At first, I embarked a boat to go to sea. I took dreadful risk. I nearly got drowned, but I had luck. Came back home with nothing. Tried again and again. 7 times, and only after 7 times I could buy this beautiful palace. So please relax and sit down, and I will tell you my story.